WGN investigates police pursuits as more departments adopt policies restricting when officers can chase people. Some wonder whether hitting the gas is increasingly becoming a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Investigative reporter Ben Bradley has that story.
Cops will tell you.
I literally have to pee. We're gonna go back to the station, pay a ticket, you'll be able to take a leak.
It's happening more often. Drivers taking off.
Don't get out of it. Portland 1391, he's taking off.
And police officers told they can't pursue.
Criminals have all the power right now.
Jim Becker learned that firsthand in Orland Park. Unbeknownst to him, police stopped this Chevy Impala when policy prevented the officer from giving chase.
As we were approaching, driver took off at a high rate of speed. No description on the driver. We are not pursuing.
A few minutes and a few blocks later.
Is that the same car?
Yeah, we were just making a stop.
Is that the number you just pulled over? He just ran me on purpose.
The fleeing car hit Jim Becker. He thought he was pulling into a gas station to exchange information, but the other driver boxed him in. Only when Jim reached into his coat did the driver and his passengers run, perhaps fearing he was armed.
The police department recorded my incident as a hit-and-run incident, which really isn't the case. I feel it's an attempted carjacking. I feel they endangered people in the station. They had stolen license plates on the car.
You guys let him go, or he just took off on you?
Yeah, we just attempted a traffic stop and then he took off.
And then he ran me.
While Los Angeles may be known for its wild police chases, police departments in Chicago and many suburbs have policies prohibiting most pursuits, except if the offender poses an immediate danger to the lives of others. The policies were developed to protect the officers and the public after innocent bystanders were injured or killed.
We always have to make decisions at a split second, and then we're going to be evaluated, months, years after that one decision.
In addition to leading the Maywood Police Department,
It gives us a heightened identification of the vehicles.
Valdemir Talley is also the head of the West Suburban Police Chiefs Association. The question many are now asking is whether the bad guys are now wise guys and know all they need to do to get away is hit the gas.
Do the bad guys know that in most cases police are no longer chasing?
I would say absolutely.
In February, a man fled a Chicago police stop in Inglewood. While officers said they didn't chase him, the driver hit and killed this mother of three a few blocks away. Turns out the driver was out on bond while facing attempted murder charges.
We need some answers. We need to know how this happened, why this happened.
Chicago police data showed last year there were 256 reported pursuits in the city. 211 of them, or 82%, were terminated for a variety of reasons, including risk.
The court's not in session.
Chicago's top cop insists COVID court closures have more to do with drivers fleeing than the fact officers often aren't chasing.
Criminals experiencing this no consequence because courts are closed are more emboldened, much more than the idea whether or not we can have a high-speed chase.
The Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board compiles data on police pursuits, but not all departments, including Chicago, supply information. There were 512 police pursuit reports filed in 2019. 31% of them were for minor traffic violations. 9% suspected stolen vehicles. Just 5% were being pursued for felony crimes. The reason behind the majority of chases was listed as multiple events.
There have been two myths in pursuit issues over the years. One is if we don't chase, everyone's going to run. And two, there's a dead body in the trunk. In other words, everyone we chase for traffic has committed a violent crime.
Jeffrey Alpert studies pursuits and has testified in Chicago cases.
We've interviewed a lot of people who fled from the police, and it's really not a conscious mathematical formula of what's my probability of not being chased, what's my probability of getting away. It's I am scared to death of the police for things that have happened to me in the past. I don't want points in my license. I don't want some minor thing to happen to me without at all considering the consequences.
Of the police pursuits reported to the state, 4% ended with injuries, usually to the person fleeing. But in 14% of the cases with an injury, it was an innocent bystander hurt. In the case of the motorist who claimed Mother Nature was calling in Orland Park,
Try and hold it for a minute here. All right, I'm trying to.
while the officers who pulled him over didn't chase, the vehicle info was broadcast on police radio and the driver crashed.
He's going to 159 off Haven Avenue.
That's him running from officers. They caught him. Turns out Eric McIntosh is a convicted felon who allegedly had a gun in his car that night.
What I always tell my officers is that nobody can outrun Motorola's.
There was no attempt to pursue.
The person who hit Jim Becker hasn't been found. It's left him feeling like it's the criminals, not the cops, who are in the driver's seat.
There's no doubt they're not allowed to do the job that they're sworn to do, and I really am not as comfortable saying, hey, they have my back. There's no doubt that they don't anymore.
Becker's frustration is with policies, not police. One state statistic shows 66% of chases in which the driver got away, the department made no effort to find the person. Ben Bradley, WGN Investigates.